Hello YouTube, Sidekick here. Today we're in our Su-25 again. We're headed out for a quick trip to the range north of Kobuleti. Before we head out, let's take a quick look at the weapons control panel in the Su-25 and the commands you're going to want to remember or bind to buttons on your HOTAS. The weapons control panel is down on the left-hand side of the cockpit, tucked in behind the gear lever. Right now you can see that there are 10 yellow lights, one for each pylon. Once we get close to the range and we switch to air-to-ground mode on the HUD, there will be a set of green lights below the yellow ones. Okay, that's one command we're going to have to use, the air-to-ground mode for the HUD. I have that one bound to one of the directions on my DMS switch on my Warthog joystick. The green lights will indicate which pylons are currently active for the selected weapon type. Only one weapon type can be active at any one time, and you can cycle through the weapons by using the weapon change command. I have that bound to the left throttle button on my Warthog throttle. Note that it is up to you to remember which weapon type is on which pylons. The panel will tell you whether it's a rocket or bomb or missile or gun pod, but not the specific weapon type. There are two other selectors on the panel that you want to be aware of. On the left is the release mode switch, which is divided in two. The left-hand side is used with gun pods, so we won't worry about it today. The right-hand side is the release interval switch that has settings for salvo, 0.1 seconds, 0.2 seconds, and 0.4 seconds, as well as a setting that is used with cluster bomb units, which we won't worry about today. This switch is controlled by the ripple interval increase and ripple interval decrease commands, which you will want to bind to an easily accessible key or button. I have them bound to the left and right presses of the TMS button on my Warthog joystick. The other selector is the weapon's salvo quantity selector, and it can be set to single, pair, 4, or all. This switch is controlled by the ripple quantity select command. So, today we're carrying 3 bomb types. On the 4 outer pylons we have Fab 100 100 kilogram bombs. On the next 2 pylons we have 2 Fab 250 250 kilogram bombs. And on the inner pylons, we have 2 Fab 500 500 kilogram bombs, which are the largest bombs that the Su-25 can carry. We'll talk about how we're going to use them when we get out to the range. By the way, the other command that you're going to want to bind is the laser designator command, which toggles your range-finding laser on and off. In the Su-25 itself, this button is on the throttle, so I have it bound to a press of the mic switch button on the Warthog throttle. Okay, I think that's all we need to look at before we take off. So let's get out to the range. All right, we're heading down the runway. I think, as you can see, I'm getting a little bit better at staying straight down the runway. Definitely have to be light on the rudder, especially at the higher speeds. And there you can see the armament under the wings as we take off. You can see we've gone to winter scene. For some reason, I just feel like the Frogfoot's a little bit more at home in this season. So we're going to fly out here, fly the same kind of pattern we've been flying. We'll go out here just a little ways, then we'll turn left to the north, and it'll take us out towards the range that we have set up. When we get a little bit closer to the range, we'll talk about what we have set up there and what we're going to do for practice today. All right, just about to turn left. You can see, actually, if you watched Yappy Dog's nav tutorial, you will have noticed that the HSI needle flipped there just as we started to turn. So we're actually using the nav system. Get some practice in doing that. Thanks again to Yappy Dog for teaching us all how to use that in the Su-25. So we're rolling out here. We're not going to climb too high. So we'll just go out here another couple kilometers to the north, and then we're going to turn left and approach the range a little bit to the south of the range, but from the east. You'll see when we get out there that there are 3 divisions on the range. There's one range that's basically a big 50-meter target with a lead-in line, and that's kind of going to be the main target that we use most of the time. On the right-hand side, you're going to see a range with 3 smaller targets in line, and this is a range we can use when we want to test sort of ripple deployment. And there you can see the bombs under the wings with the smaller bombs on the outer pylons, and then the 2 larger sets of bombs on the inner pylons. Okay, the range is going to be coming up on the right. The 3rd division of the range is a little simulated built-up area in the middle between the other 2 ranges. It doesn't have any instrumentation, so it won't report how accurately we drop the bombs, but it'll be fun for kind of blowing stuff up. Okay, the range is coming up on the right, just over the top of the cockpit there on the right-hand side. We're switching to air-ground mode, and we're changing our weapons to our 250-kilogram bombs. Okay, so we're basically fenced in. Here you can see the range. It's a good shot of the range with the big target, the urban target in the middle, and the little targets on the right. So we're going to approach the range from the south. We're going to turn in from the south, fly over the target in the attack direction at around the altitude we plan to drop the bombs from, and at about the usual speed for dropping the bombs. And the reason for this is to allow us to trim ourselves out for the release point. So this is a good practice that I discovered reading a U.S. Navy documentation, that if you're setting up for a range practice, it's good to get yourself trimmed out for the release point, so you so that's where you want the airplane trimmed for, so you do that by flying over the target and getting the trim set before you start the practice. So now we've done that, we'll take her up, turn to the left, and start our range circuit. Okay, so what we're going to do for the first practice is we're going to take those 250 kilogram bombs, and we're just going to drop them on the big range target. We're going to drop them from kind of a fairly shallow pass, around a 30-degree pass, starting at around 3,000 meters or 10,000 feet. So you can see the range off to the left there. Getting up to altitude so we can start our turn in. Go south a little ways because we want it to be a fairly shallow dive angle, give us lots of time to get set up. So the procedure when we roll in, or just prior to roll in, is to turn on the laser designator. And then we aim at the target, and we wait until we get the weapon release light, which will be on the right-hand side at the base of the hub. The laser designator will be on the left-hand side at the base of the HUD. Once we get the weapon release indicator, it means that the system is tracking the ground, and the reticle is being adjusted accordingly so we can get a nice accurate drop. Okay, we're just squeezing up a little bit here. That looks good. Let's roll in. All right, we get the dive brakes on for this one. Pulling out, laser designator's on, but we're not tracking yet. We'll stay below the target until we get that track, and then we'll pull up to the target for the release. There it is, so we'll pull up a little bit, and you can see it moving up, and there we go. Well, that's pretty outstanding. A really nice bracket there. So we'll pull up and go left and go around again. So I am finding the Su-25 to be an excellent platform for dropping iron bombs. This laser designator system is really great. It isn't a full CCIP system. And it doesn't show the same level of symbology on the HUD, but once you know what you're doing, it's really pretty easy to put the bombs where you want them. So for the second run, what we're going to do is go over to the ripple side of the range, so the 3 small targets. We're going to drop all 4 100 kilogram bombs and just see what kind of length of bomb stick we can drop here. So you see we've got the 4 outer pylons lit. So, and then we're setting our ripple quantity and our ripple interval, and we're ready to go. We're going to drop these in even shallower dive angles, so we're going to stay down around 2,500 meters. And we're going to pull out even farther to the south here so we can get a nice shallow angle and see how long we can make the bomb drop. So start pulling around here. That's looking pretty good. We just got to cross to the base of the line there. And that looks good. Let's roll that in. And as we roll out at the base of the line, once again, we've got the reticle on screen, but it's not tracking yet, so we're going to stay below the target until we see that track light come on. There it is, so we start pulling it up, and pickle. Nice. Covered the first 2 targets. Alright, so let's pull up one more time and brake to the left, and we'll decide what to do with our big bombs. So as you can see, we just have the 2 500 kilo bombs left. But I think what we'll do for those is we'll go up a little higher and take a steeper dive bombing pass at the center urban target. So let's climb out here a little bit higher, maybe close to 4,000 meters, and we'll take a look at that center urban target there. So keep pulling up here. Got the inner pylons lit, and we're ready to go. Set the selector switch back. Alright. Just want to stay in a little tighter to the target this time because we're on a nice steep dive angle. See, we're up over 4,000 meters. Start to pull around now. Keeping it off the left wing there. Start to squeeze in a little tighter now. Yeah, pull her around. Want to keep a nice steep angle on this one, see how we do. And roll her in. Once again, we're getting those dive brakes out. Got the laser on. Just need to wait for the release light. Stay below the target until we get that. There it is. Now we can pull up to the target. Not too fast. Don't want it to move too fast. And right about there. Nice. Nice drop. All right, well, I'll call that a successful bombing practice on this Kobuleti iron bombing range. If you're interested in seeing a mission file that has this range in it, let me know in the comments or drop on over to the Discord server and we can talk about it. As always, if you are enjoying these videos, it really would help if you subscribe to the channel and like the videos. It's important to do those things if you want to keep them coming. I'm enjoying this Su-25 DCS Gateway Drug series. Let me know what you think of the series as a whole as well. But for now, this is going to be Sidekick, signing off.